Hi, Lollies. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda's channel. Thank you for all the love and support. Don't forget to please subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications so that anytime I upload videos, you'll be the first person to be notified. To my returning subscribers, to those people that share my videos, leave commentaries, and also educate each and every one of ours. You guys are the way
So
everything. So
lovelies, I came across this video on my For You and I thought to share with you guys where this woman is actually calling upon her brothers and sisters to the fact that she is so disappointed in them and with all of the things that is going on with MAGA, Republicans, and thereabout, she decided to speak out, and now she's having every emotional, mental breakdown that you can actually think of. This got people reacting, and I was able to put up some of those stitches. I'm just going to roll the clip as well as the stitches. Please leave me your own thoughts, and let's dive into it.
It's time to speak up. Well, it appears the joke's on me. It appears I have been the biggest fool alive. You see, before the last couple of days, I knew that there was a segment of MAGA who just hated, who just wanted to burn the world down and they don't care who they hurt. In the meantime, I knew there was that section, but I really, really thought that most of MAGA just didn't get it. I really thought they just didn't understand. They didn't understand economics because it's complicated. They hadn't studied Project 2025, so they didn't know what was coming. But I really thought when he got in there and started doing the things that hurt so many people, that they would realize and that they would, but they don't care. Y'all have been telling me this for 2 months, and I kept saying, no, we just have to explain it to them. We just have. Now, I know there are a few. And I thank you guys. You make it worth sticking with this. But over the last couple of days, I have realized that the majority of Republicans do not care how many people are hurt. And they are exactly what Palpatine said. They're the ones he was talking about when he said he could unalive someone in public and they would still vote for him. I thought they just wanted lower egg prices. I thought they were struggling in the economy and it was hard and they wanted their lives to be easier and they listened to that. And that's why they voted for him. But they don't care. They literally don't care how many other people in this world are hurt. See, the difference is I'm willing to pay more for my eggs. If it means no one in my country goes hungry tonight, I am willing to pay more for my eggs. If it means everybody can have an egg. But they really don't care. And I am heartbroken that so many in my country don't care. That so many won't go love their neighbor. But I want to thank those of you who are. You're the ones keeping me going. Go love your neighbor.
They don't care because they've never cared. The Republican Party has never really given a shit about anybody. They don't care. They don't give a shit. They never have. Since 1980. In the arrival of Ronald Reagan, the Republicans have been hell-bent on making themselves rich, making their donors rich, and screwing everyone else. This was never a secret. I've known it. I've known it since I was a kid. The policies that they want to put in place have always been about two ideas. They're not good ideas, but they're the only ideas the Republican Party has had since 1980. Tax cuts for rich people and corporations and businesses, and deregulating anything that would stop the profit margin. We've known this for decades. We kept trying to tell people. Ice Cube has a song called A Bird in a Hand. off of his album Death Certificate. It is possibly, or not possibly, it is probably one of my favorite Ice Cube songs. It's not that long. It's quite short. But it literally gives you the mentality and mindset of people in marginalized communities. Constantly. Black folks are too broke to be Republicans. We are. And when this level of cruelty was done to people who do not look like you, no one batted an eye. Cruelty is the point. Every ism you can think of is mixed up in it. Pain points. But the pain wasn't being felt, or it was being felt, but the most visible representation of that hurt was in marginalized communities. We were the canaries in the coal mine. We were the guinea pigs. And not only did we find out that people outside of our communities didn't care, they were okay with it. They were okay with it. People believed the idea that women were having a bunch of kids to get more welfare, because the face of that was a black face. People believed that crime was being ran rampant all throughout the inner city, because the faces of it were black and brown. People believed that there were groomers and pedophiles all over the place, because they put a gay face or a trans face to it. And while all of this is going on, while every wedge issue that the Republican Party threw out, because they have no good ideas, and the only two ideas they've ever had is tax cuts and deregulation, which doesn't play well in the quote-unquote heartland, doesn't play well in those real America places where the flag is waving and there's wheat and there's a little toe-head white boy, a little white kid running around. They knew it doesn't play well. But they did know that if they scare you about the inner city, if they scare you about Mexicans, if they scare you enough about these crazy drag queens and gays and trans, that you would fall for it. And then they could deregulate. Which means if you got hurt at work, you had no recourse. They crushed the unions. Crushed them. And they did all of this in front of you. There's an old saying, the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist. And that's what happened. MAGA is the clearest, newest, and most deadly strain of this mindset. People have died under that MAGA mentality. We have a bunch of loudmouth people who are not experts on anything that have become the leading voices of MAGA. And people take them and their word as gospel. And if you will take these snake oil salesmen as gospel, you will vote against everything you know you need. They did it in front of you. They were hiding in plain sight. MAGA's a disease. The man who currently sits in the White House has no reason to be there. But this is the second time he's done it. Why? Because MAGA people voted on wedge issues while screaming economics. And they put their faith and their trust and their belief in a party that has never given a shit about them. It's the Lee Atwater speech. They made it so abstract that you're now voting against things that help you. And it's killing you. There is no reaching these people anymore. None. They have wholly bought into the lies. Drank the Kool-Aid, as it were. They now believe this bullshit is true. And it will take decades for us to clean it up, if we ever do. Our media is not telling us any of this because they want to stay next to the powerful who have horrible ideas, but it gives them access. So they're looking at their bottom line too. They have sold out. News media, print media have now become MAGA acolytes. And for what? For what? Tax cuts and deregulation. Donald Trump, Mike Johnson, and the Republican Party is about to unleash a $4.5 trillion tax cut. The only people that will benefit the most are the same people who signed up to tell you and people from the heartland that it was the gays, the blacks, and the Mexicans were the reason that you weren't getting ahead. And those tax cuts are going to destroy this country. The tariffs are going to bring a recession like you would not believe. Coupled with that tax cut, we are looking at Herbert Hoover's style Great Depression. We tried to tell y'all. We tried to tell everyone. But no one wanted to listen. MAGA is going to destroy this country. And there are going to be some people that are going to cheer for it. Because cruelty is the point.
Miss Jessica, I see that you in the earliest stages of repentance and remorse behind the decisions that you made. So I'm making this video to help you out on your process of becoming woke. You're beginning to realize what MAGA really is. I listened to your video, and the key thing that you said was what I highlighted. You knew a segment of MAGA was hate. But what you're missing, what you're deeply missing, is MAGA. The core of MAGA is hate. Now, the black community, which I'm very proud of, has warned America due to behaviors that we have been receiving, the dangers that we saw coming onto America. We have told you for years about the hate in the party, in that Republican Party. We warned you about the isms. We took issues to court when our rights was violated. That wasn't about us only. That is also action that you take to save America as a whole. Now, due to most Americans right now have no problem with us losing our rights, you are also losing your rights and this constitutional republic as a whole. We have been overthrown in a subversive matter due to racism. Now, I can tell that you are a person of empathy. This is why the message before was hard for you to receive. Because many people who have empathy, they cannot imagine someone being so evil. To do that, I got it. But your empathy was blocking your process, your progress to learn and really see the truth and the motivation behind what has taken place in America over the last few years. And you're not the only one. That's why I really want to sit down and talk to you right now, and hopefully we can really get this understanding across. It wasn't about eggs. It wasn't about the economy. It wasn't about all those things. Those were deceptions put into the narrative to spark the isms that is still in your culture's belief systems and feelings. Y'all have to face that. You are a good person. You have to face that. And you must do your part to be anti-isms to help save America. For in the modern times of isms, you attack us. You are attacking America as a whole. Deprivation of our rights, it means deprivation of everybody's rights. And that is what Trump has done. Welcome to the beginning of fascism. And it's up to you to stand up, rise up, and stop it.
So you know all that. And you can admit that you're aware of all that. But you still won't call them out? Your society is not putting pressure on those people. What exactly do you want us to do to help fix it, and you refuse to deconstruct it in your own homes? You refuse to call out your family members, your friends, your colleagues. Come together as a community and put pressure on those people. Stop acting so helpless. You created this. Your complacency, turning a blind eye, minimizing, completely disregarding, all of this has led up to something that you now have no choice but to get control of. Start doing the hard work and deconstruct your white tea supremacy with your families. Now!
She goes on to say she just figured that out the last few days. I've known that shit my whole life.
So, I don't know which political party you voted for, so I'm not going to do my usual shtick here. But I am going to say this. They knew. They knew what he was going to do. We've known since he was first president what he was out to do. We knew he was tied to Project 2025. We knew about Agenda 47. We knew about everything. They knew about everything. They didn't care. Apologize, I had to deal with something. Anyways, they knew. They knew all along. They didn't care. They didn't care. Because they thought they were going to benefit in the long run from Trump's policies. They thought that Trump was going to make America great again. Trump was going to do this. Trump was going to do that. He was going to be tough on this. He was going to do that. What happened? Exactly everything that he was saying, that we were saying, and they knew it was going to happen. And they didn't care. Until it started happening to them. I've seen hundreds, and I've heard of thousands of videos of people who regret their vote now. People who have been fired from federal jobs, farms that are closing, and farmers that are losing their land. Legal U.S. citizens that are being detained and questioned, and even at this point, seemingly tortured by ICE. And they're all saying the same thing. I didn't know it would affect me. I didn't know I would get caught up in it. I didn't know that this was going to... I didn't know that that was going to happen. I didn't know. I didn't... Yeah, see? They knew what was going to happen. They just didn't think it would happen to them. They voted for all those terrible things, and they know they voted for all those terrible things. They know it. But they voted for them to happen to other people. They voted for him to happen to other people. That's what they wanted. So all the terrible stuff happening to everybody else, don't bother them. It's never bothered them. And it's always been like this. I don't quite understand how people could think that MAGA or others, any Republicans, would care. Because when it comes to like those in power, Congress and whatnot, they just care about being elected. And if they live in a red state, I'll guarantee that even if they don't actually believe in the shit they're spouting, they'll spout it anyways because it means they get reelected. That's all senators and all that care about. And yeah, that could play on both sides, but I guarantee that a lot of Republicans just say that shit just so they'll get elected. There are many, many, many senators and House representatives that are against Trump tariffs, but they are still doing everything they can to let the tariffs go through because they know if they vote against them, they won't be in office come the election. Notice how Mitch McConnell kept bowing down to Donald Trump and kowtowing to Donald Trump. And now that Mitch McConnell's decided he's not going to run for office anymore, he's now speaking out against Trump. It's always been that way. And finally, let's take into account children. How many children have been slaughtered in schools? How many children have been gunned down in schools? How many children have died in schools due to gun violence? Gun violence being the number one reason that children die in this world. Do you think they care? Do you think it matters to them? Of course not, because it's not their kid. As long as it's not their kid, they don't give a fuck. That has always been the Republican mindset. As long as it's not happening to me, and in many cases somebody I know personally, then it doesn't fucking matter. It's always been like that. It hasn't changed. And it won't. It won't. It will not change as long as poor education continues to be a thing. As long as people who want to be in power continue to try and force these very specific ideals into schools and onto people that are purposely meant to turn people into sheep, basically. That's how it'll always be. This is why they're trying to do things like destroy the Department of Education, even though they really don't do much for the schools other than give them some budget money. This is why they're trying to force curriculums. This is why they're trying to erase history. This is why they're trying to force out LGBTQA and anything that's not cis, hetero, straight, white. This is why they're trying to do all the things that they're doing. Because they're trying to control the narrative, they're trying to force an issue, and they're trying to take away from schools and teaching. And they want to keep people ignorant because they see where most of their voters come from. Areas with poor education, areas that are lacking in education, and areas that may be slanted towards certain types of education, i.e. Deep South, rural areas. Areas where it's almost like stepping back in time because they are so slow in catching up to anything. That's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. And to make it even worse, no matter how much you try and educate them, no matter how much you try and explain to them, no matter how much you show them, no matter how much they continue to get hurt by the people they vote for, they will continue staying on that narrative. Because somehow they have been convinced that as long as they continue to kiss the ass of Republican officials, senators, House reps, governors, presidents, all that somehow they'll get ahead in life, that somehow they'll make it. Somehow they won't be living paycheck to paycheck. Somehow they won't be living on SNAP or housing benefits. Somehow they too will join the elite ranks and be accepted by the rich and be able to break that barrier. Yeah, that's what they believe. And they'll never think otherwise. Which is why the videos I make aren't for them. It's for everybody else.
I seriously love this. The fact that, this lady is actually realizing what's up about MAGA people, about MAGA supporters, Republicans, and all of that. It actually baffles me. She was like, she found out a few, days ago, a few weeks ago, Jerry, about how these people do not care. Like, even if she still hoped that at a time they will be remorseful, they will just come to with themselves that, oh, they have really effed around. Like, what have we really done to ourselves? She was still expecting that reaction from her own. I think she never mentioned the person that she voted for, either, if she's a MAGA supporter or not. I think she didn't mention it in the video, but the way at which she's saying, or the way at which she spoke, I think she actually not a MAGA. But you can actually correct me in the comment section if you feel that she is a MAGA or not, because she never mentioned it. Okay, let's just, go ahead with the video and the contents of the video. She goes as far as, being all disappointing and having emotional breakdown or you know, whatsoever you call it, mental breakdown, emotional breakdown, with the fact that her own people still do not realize the kind of atrocities that they have encouraged and caused. For her to still, you know, getting all surprised to the fact that, oh, I never expected my own people to be this blind and not, see things or see the truth in front of them baffles me, because she was supposed to know her own people better. She was supposed to know that these people are a kind people that even if they knew deep inside of them that they have merged or they have actually effed around, they will never ever accept the accountability. They will never ever, try to like, oh, there's way at which this guy is raising. Instead of them to accept what they have done wrong, they will try as much as they can to make it look like you are the reason for all of the problems. Like, this is just giving a narcissist behavior. Seriously, lovelies. I actually feel for her. I actually understood her own from her own perspective if she's being so genuine and real, because sometimes they just surprise you. Like the person you think that they are all out talking about how, oh my god, I don't know, these are going to, this past campaign and elections actually taught so many people a lot. It taught people not to really trust what people says. It also gives people that impression of, oh, maybe this person might be saying A and doing B. There are a lot that is on stake, but this particular stage here, I think maybe she's just being honest. She's just, so getting so surprised that with all of the things that is happening, her own people still do not realize that they have so many things to actually tackle. The thing is that herself and every other person that actually think that, oh, they are getting more informed now to the happenings, really need to work more on their own community. I have said this countless times. I have said this even when a particular Mexican or Hispanic lady come out to talk about how, oh my god, black people and Hispanic people have always been brothers. No, sometimes we actually need to tell ourselves the truth. Sometimes we need to leave what they call maybe sentiment aside, try to like tell ourselves the truth, understand our own thoughts. Then from there, that is when an issue gets to resolve. If you do not acknowledge your own, problems, your own mistakes, I don't think that a pending issue might actually get resolved. So some of these type of women who comes out to share their emotional state of how disappointing they feel or they are because of the outcome of their own choices or the choices of their own brothers and sisters, I think it's high time for them to put in the work. What I mean put in the work is the fact that they need to call their own community together, like with their own with truth and genuineness, not coming on the social platform to cry out, but at the deep inside of you, you know what you're doing. Like, I think if you know that you are hurt, you are so angry with what is happening and what your own has actually contributed, it's time for you to really stand up and table the issue and try to resolve it within your own community before coming out to seek other people's help. Everybody really needs to do this, because it has actually been proven that the people who are out there for togetherness and standing firm for each other is actually people that looks like me. If you don't believe that, at least this past election and the result and all of that should show you that black people are actually united. No matter how the media want to create some kind of division between people that looks like me, they are united. And the past, whatsoever that happened, has proven that fact. So I think it's high time for every other, community who think that, oh, okay, I have something else, like there is something I can do. I think this is the time for them to call upon their own community and see if they can unite as well, just the way at which people that looks like me did theirs. Then afterwards, that is when you can call for every or any other community to come to your rescue. There is a video I stitched yesterday concerning the veterans rallies and all of that, and this woman was like, okay, we are out here, so many people think that we are not talking, we are not doing nothing, we just sitting around and crying. I think she's the same woman. I think she is the same lady that I'm stitching her video right now. So yesterday when I stitched her video, she went for this veteran rally, and she was like, so many of these social platforms they don't want to see that the colored people are actually doing something. They are out here, they are advocating, but the media do not want to take that. Okay, good. You can start from there, but there are other things you need to do. You need to do more. You need to do even more than what people that looks like me have been doing for a very long time. Like, people that looks like me have been doing quite a lot. So the ones you're just started, you're just starting. You're just starting. And there is nothing that you will say or do that will get people that looks like me to come out and protest on the street. Like, that era is gone and is done and is dusted. They can't do that. Even if Republicans come out with George Floyd, that removal of Black Lives Matters, it's not going to make them want to protest, So I think you should call upon your community and look for how you people can just start up something, try to advocate, try, like, in truth, not the way at which you guys did during the election, that people were thinking that you guys understand what was going on. Then after the results came out, everybody was just saying people's true color, you know like, I feel for you. I know you're doing your best, but you really need to channel that energy more in people that looks like you. I know that it's not easy, and it has never been easy for people that looks like me, right? From, like, they have been doing this, their ancestors sacrificed a lot to get to the stage that they are right now. I think it's high time for you guys to take the bull by the hand. Anyway, lovely, so wanna just leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. And please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We're just here for educational and informative purposes. So guys, if you've not subscribed to this channel, do your girl a huge favor to click on the subscription button, like, and I will see you
Thought in the
lovely
comment
when I
section of
upload.
what you think of this video. And please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We are just here for educational and informative purposes. So if you've not subscribed to this channel, do your girl a huge favor to click on the subscription button, like, and I will see you lovely when I upload the next one.